For Neymar, the day doesn't begin with the crude shock of an alarm. At precisely 6:30 a.m., his palatial estate in Mangaratiba itself begins to stir, gently coaxing him from slumber. A symphony of light begins as his private chambers transition from absolute darkness to the warm golden glow of a custom-engineered sunrise, perfectly mirroring the dawn breaking over the Brazilian coastline. He rests on a $50,000 bespoke sleep system, a throne of comfort that analyzes his biometrics overnight and dynamically adjusts its firmness for ultimate recovery. Every inch is a masterpiece of Swedish artisanship, woven from exotic horsehair, pure wool, and organic cotton, a process demanding over 300 hours of meticulous labor. The moment his feet leave the sanctuary of the bed, they are greeted by the sublime warmth of Brazilian marble floors, perpetually maintained at a perfect 72 degrees. This is no ordinary floor. It's a $200,000 foundation of pure opulence. Each slab was quarried from a single, exclusive source, then hand-polished for 6 solid weeks before it was deemed worthy of his home. His morning ritual continues in a bathroom that rivals a world-class spa, complete with a rainfall shower and body jets calibrated to his exact specifications. By 7 a.m., he enters his personal performance center, forget a normal home gym. This is a state-of-the-art performance laboratory, featuring resistance bands custom-tuned for his unique physiology, an $8,000 Peloton tread, and a techno gym suite that commands a price tag near $200,000. The walls are not just mirrored. They are intelligent surfaces, impact-resistant, anti-fog, and coated with a revolutionary film that dynamically adapts the room's lighting. It's here his personal trainer puts him through hell 3 times a week. Post-workout, he refuels in a kitchen that is nothing short of an architectural marvel, where his loyal private chef, a culinary artist in his own right, crafts his breakfast. Imagine countertops carved from the finest Italian marble, a full suite of Sub-Zero appliances, and a wine and music fridge capable of housing over 300 of the world's most exquisite vintages. On the menu this morning, delicate scrambled eggs with perfectly ripened avocado, juice squeezed from oranges picked moments before, and acai berries sourced directly from the heart of the Amazon. These are not mere ingredients. They are global treasures, flown in fresh twice a week. The concept of a regular grocery store is utterly alien here. Even the salt is a statement, hand-harvested from a protected estuary in Portugal, costing around $200 a jar. By 8:30, Neymar's day truly begins. But he doesn't just walk to a car. He steps into a gallery of automotive art, a climate-controlled sanctuary that puts most dealerships to shame. Because Neymar doesn't own a car, he commands a private armada. And the daily ritual of selecting his chariot is a sacred moment. Let's begin with a relic from his ascension, a trophy from the days when the millions were still a novelty. Long before the colossal contracts, back in his Santos era, Neymar announced his arrival with an Audi Right Spider. This wasn't just his first real supercar, it was his first declaration of power. The Spider, starting at $120,000, possesses a soul of pure mechanical fury, a naturally aspirated V10 engine that screams all the way to 8,000 RPM. Its retractable soft top vanishes in under 20 seconds, exposing a chassis born from motorsport, an aluminum space frame, the very same technology that propels Audi's champions to victory. It devours 60 miles per hour in 3.5 seconds on its relentless climb to over 200. For a rising star, this was the ultimate fantasy made real. Today, it's a cherished memory, rarely unleashed. Then came the Barcelona era, and with it, the corporate perks like an R7, a twin-turbocharged V8 beast that unleashes 605 horsepower. That car, a $120,000 Predator in a tuxedo, could rocket 4 adults in lavish comfort from 0 to 60 in under 3.5 seconds. Inside, the cabin is swathed in exquisite Valcona leather, facing a digital command center customizable to display everything from mission-critical navigation to battlefield performance data. He also commanded a Q7, Audi's fortress of luxury. While a base model begins at $50,000, Neymar's was a palace on wheels, boasting massaging seats, an immense panoramic sunroof, and a bone-shaking Bang & Olufsen sound system with 19 speakers. It was his trusted steed for the daily pilgrimage to the training grounds, serene, spacious, and civilized. But these were merely the opening chords. When the Barcelona fortune truly began to flow, his garage ascended into the realm of legend. Enter the icon, the Ferrari 458 Italia. This machine changed everything, a masterpiece worth around $160,000. The 458 Italia is powered by a 4.5-liter V8 that bleeds 570 horsepower, Ferrari's glorious answer to the supercar arms race of the 2010s, and it was a decisive victory. Its engine is mounted directly behind the driver, a placement that grants it the sublime, telepathic balance of a true apex predator. Its 7-speed dual-clutch transmission swaps cogs with a speed that defies human perception, and the exhaust note? That is the unrestrained roar of pure Italian fury. Mesut Ozil had one. Mario Balotelli had one. It became the undisputed symbol of success, the chariot of choice for football's global elite. But for Neymar, common royalty wasn't enough. He craved the unobtainable. So he acquired a Maserati MC12, a machine so rare, only 50 were ever brought into existence. Forged between 2004 and 2005, the MC12 was born for a single purpose: to dominate the FIA GT Championship. Racing rules demanded at least 25 street legal versions to exist. So, Maserati, in a flex of pure bravado, built exactly 50. It wields a 6-liter V12 heart borrowed from Ferrari, churning out over 600 horsepower. Its entire body is woven from carbon fiber, weighing less than 3,000 pounds. At full throttle, it shrieks with the fury of a launching fighter jet. The MC12 cost around $415,000, and Neymar rarely drives it, because to call it a car is an insult. It is a collector's masterpiece, a museum exhibit that happens to possess an engine. Now, let's shift to the untamed bull, the Lamborghini Huracan. This was not a purchase, it was a demand. A non-negotiable term, Neymar personally insisted be included in his Saudi deal upon signing with Al Hilal. The Huracan starts at $245,000 and runs on a 5.2-liter naturally aspirated V10, good for 640 horsepower and 0 to 60 in a neck-snapping 2.9 seconds. Its top speed shatters the 200-mile-per-hour barrier. But the real magic is how it connects with you. The steering is so direct, it feels hardwired to your thoughts. With the roaring engine just inches from your spine, every brutal gear change sends a shockwave through your very core. This is not just speed, it is a visceral, primal event. Its cockpit is a minimalist masterpiece of Alcantara and leather, dominated by a digital interface broadcasting every conceivable performance metric in real time. Lamborghini engineered the Huracan to be the daily drivable supercar, and for a king like Neymar, that is precisely what it is. Then there is the Porsche Panamera Turbo, valued around $150,000. The Panamera Turbo is Porsche's audacious answer to an impossible question. Can a limousine have the soul of a race car? The answer is a thunderous yes. A twin-turbo V8 obliterates 60 miles per hour in 3.1 seconds, charging towards a top speed of 196 miles per hour. The cabin is an executive suite of pure indulgence. Leather everywhere, climate-controlled seats, and a Burmester sound system that costs more than most people's entire car. But here's its secret. Its engine is up front. While this robs it of the razor-sharp balance of the Lamborghini's mid-engine setup, it grants it the glorious ability to effortlessly slide its rear end out in the corners. If you enjoy defying physics with a smile on your face, this is your weapon. Neymar also possesses a Bentley Continental GT. This machine costs around $230,000 and is engineered for one thing: pure presence. Beneath the sculpted hood of the Continental GT lies a monstrous twin-turbo W12 engine, 12 cylinders forged into a W, unleashing a staggering 650 horsepower. This 2-ton behemoth defies physics, lunging to 60 in a mind-bending 3.5 seconds and soaring to a top speed of 208 miles per hour. The interior is an exercise in obscene opulence, featuring hand-stitched leather from Scandinavian bulls because Bentley scoffs at the very notion of stretch marks. Only flawless hides will do. Admire the walnut wood trim, a masterpiece that demands weeks of meticulous hand polishing, and witness the pièce de résistance, a rotating dashboard that cycles between a touchscreen, 3 analog dials, or an unbroken plane of perfect wood. This is the chariot for those who command respect with quiet confidence, a statement of arrival that needs no shouting. But when even that feels too pedestrian, Neymar summons his next level obsession, the Bentley Flying Spur, a palace on wheels commanding a price of $372,000. The Flying Spur is not merely a sedan, it is Bentley's crown jewel, longer, more imposing, and dripping with an even greater level of luxury than its continental cousin. In the rear, you don't find seats, you find thrones that recline, massage, and warm you, while a built-in champagne refrigerator stands perpetually ready for celebration. Triple glazed windows create a sanctuary so silent that the engines roar at full throttles, a forgotten whisper. This is not a car you drive. This is where you are chauffeured. But a king needs more than comfort. He needs raw power. Enter the British beast, the Aston Martin DBX 707, a $253,000 brute built to conquer the luxury SUV battlefield. Its twin-turbo V8 heart pumps out a ferocious 707 horsepower, catapulting it from 0 to 60 in a blistering 3.3 seconds. This is the ride James Bond would choose for a family mission. The cockpit is a symphony of aggression and elegance, where flawless hand-stitched leather clashes with cold, hard-brushed aluminum and lightweight carbon fiber. Whispers claim Neymar demanded this very machine be written into his Al Hilal contract. And then, there is the icon. The Rolls-Royce Ghost Black Badge, a $416,000 declaration of ultimate power. They dare to call the Ghost entry level, which is like calling a private island a starter home. There is absolutely nothing basic about this masterpiece. The cabin's silence is legendary, engineered so profoundly, you might hear your own heartbeat. But the Black Badge edition is its dark, rebellious alter ego, a beast lurking beneath the elegance. It promises more power, more menace, and a sport-tuned suspension, all fueled by a twin-turbo V12 that breathes fire with 593 horsepower. But forget speed, the true currency here is presence. When a Rolls-Royce glides to a stop, the world stops with it. Even its iconic Spirit of Ecstasy ornament possesses a regal intelligence, retracting into its fortress upon parking to ward off the unworthy. The doors seal your world away with the thunderous finality of a bank vault, while the ride itself is pure alchemy, what its creators call the magic carpet suspension, utterly erasing the road beneath you. A modern emperor must also have a chariot to conquer any domain. Behold, the Range Rover Autobiography, a $150,000 moving sanctuary with massaging thrones, a panoramic sky roof, and a 29-speaker Meridian concert hall. Engineered for sublime comfort, it's no slouch, launching to 60 in under 6 seconds and treating the most brutal off-road trails like freshly laid pavement. For a man like Neymar, this is his version of going incognito if a 400 horsepower Range Rover can ever truly hide. Then, for shocking contrast, there's the Volkswagen T-Roc, worth a mere $44,000. This is the most humble soldier in his automotive army, a machine chosen not for status, but for sheer, unadulterated utility on the daily grind. For Neymar, it is pocket change, but it's proof that even gods crave simplicity. Now, brace yourself for the wild card, the legend that shattered the internet, Neymar's custom-built Batmobile replica. This is no toy. This is a $2 million, street-legal, fully operational fantasy, ripped from the darkest streets of Gotham and unleashed upon our world. Its menacing shell is hand-molded from carbon fiber and fiberglass to perfectly mimic the cinematic icon, powered by a roaring V8 engine unleashing over 500 horsepower of pure fury. It screams with the sound of a jet turbine, glows with an otherworldly LED aura, and is piloted from a cockpit torn from a science fiction blockbuster. Neymar's obsession is real. His helicopter bears the Batman logo. His private jet has Bat-themed seating. And now, he possesses the actual Batmobile. It is the ultimate, undeniable flex. Because when you inhabit the billionaire dimension, your car collection defies logic. It simply makes a statement. But for Neymar, the conquest of land is only the beginning. When he departs his fortress of solitude, the final vehicle he boards is sometimes a discreet Mercedes van. Not for its luxury, though it has plenty, but for the man who comes with it. A personal chauffeur, on call 24 hours a day. The van is a mobile command center, custom built with reclining leather thrones, absolute privacy glass, and a full entertainment system for his entire entourage. Friends, family, security, they all move as one. Because when you are Neymar, you don't travel alone. You travel with a convoy. And that procession doesn't stop at the airport. Because Neymar doesn't fly commercial. He commands his own private air force. First in the fleet, the Embraer Phenom 100, a sleek Brazilian engineered executive jet valued at a staggering $3 million. Seating up to 5 passengers with a range of over 1,200 miles, this was his first taste of true freedom in the skies. A cocoon of leather seats and LED lighting, he bought this machine early in his career to simply erase airports from his life and connect cities at will. It was his first taste of private aviation, and once you fly private, you never go back. Then came the upgrade, the Cessna Citation 680, with an $18 million price tag. This mid-sized titan of the skies has a reach of over 3,000 miles, carrying up to 12 passengers in a cabin of pure indulgence with fully reclining seats. The interior is unmistakably his, branded with the NJR logo on every headrest and bathed in custom mood lighting that shifts from an ethereal blue to a vibrant green. This is his intercontinental chariot, shrinking the globe as he glides from Brazil to Europe and on to Saudi Arabia in absolute privacy and comfort. But the undisputed king of his aerial fleet is the Dassault Falcon 900 LX. This jet commands an eye-watering $52 million. It is a flying penthouse, one of the most advanced jets ever conceived, with a range of over 4,800 miles, a cabin for 14, a full bedroom suite, 2 bathrooms, and a chef-grade kitchen. The interior is a masterpiece of cream leather, rich wood trim, and gold accents, with oversized windows flooding the space with natural light. The flight deck is a technological marvel, boasting the latest avionics, digital displays, autopilot systems, and satellite communications for a master of the universe. Imagine soaring from Sao Paulo to Paris in a single, uninterrupted journey. Picture yourself drifting into a deep sleep, nestled in a king-size bed at 40,000 feet. Upon arrival, he emerges not just rested, but utterly reborn, the very picture of composure and power. Because for the titans of the world, private aviation is not a mere indulgence, it is the ultimate expression of command. It is absolute authority over your time, your sanctuary, and your very life force. And Neymar hasn't just learned the rules, he's rewritten them. But his dominion isn't limited to the stratosphere. He also commands the airspace closer to home. Neymar is the master of an Airbus H-145 helicopter, a masterpiece of engineering valued at approximately $10 million. This is one of the planet's most sophisticated civilian choppers, with the capacity to ferry up to 10 souls in a cabin, transformed into a bat cave in the sky, complete with custom-themed seats and leather embossed with his emblem. Its rotor blades slice the air with a near-silent grace, a world away from the clatter of lesser machines, boasting a flight range of over 400 miles. Neymar leverages this aerial chariot to render the notorious São Paulo traffic an utter irrelevance, gliding between his Brazilian estates and descending upon events with breathtaking drama. This machine is a flying VIP lounge, outfitted with noise-canceling headsets, precision climate control, and a state-of-the-art sound system. When a helicopter is yours to command, traffic jams become nothing more than an abstract pattern below. You don't endure them, you transcend them. And that is precisely the world Neymar has built for himself. But when he's not conquering the skies, he is ruling the waves. Neymar holds court on the Azimut 78, an Italian-forged super yacht that commands a price of around $3 million. This vessel stretches an impressive 78 feet, a floating palace across 3 decks, boasting 4 opulent suites and attended by a dedicated crew of 6. The main deck is a vision of pure indulgence, with a lounge area defined by pristine white leather couches, a fully stocked wet bar, and panoramic floor-to-ceiling windows. Ascend to the upper deck to find a bubbling jacuzzi, sprawling sunbathing pads, and an alfresco dining area for unforgettable feasts. Below deck, the suites await, each a private kingdom with a king-size bed, a bathroom carved from marble, and a window onto the endless ocean. The yacht bears the name Nyan, a tribute to his mother. This is his escape, his fortress of solitude on the sea. When Neymar desires to vanish from the world, he unleashes his yacht upon the coast of Sao Paulo or the secluded islands near Rio de Janeiro. He drops anchor far from shore, plunges into the crystalline water, and allows the world and its demands to dissolve into nothingness. For a precious few days, his universe shrinks to just him, his loved ones, and the boundless ocean. No prying lenses, no crushing expectations, only absolute tranquility. Yet even this perfect piece has its price. The annual upkeep for this floating sanctuary hovers around $1 million, a sum that covers the salaries of his crew, fuel, docking privileges, immaculate cleaning, and any necessary repairs. And for Neymar, every single cent is an investment in his soul, because the life of a true Titan isn't measured by the things you accumulate. It's measured by the sacred spaces you forge where you can finally, truly breathe. And sometimes, that sanctuary is found upon the endless expanse of the water. Now, let us turn to where a king lays his head at night, because a fleet of supercars and a private air force are meaningless without a throne to return to. And Neymar doesn't have a mere home. He presides over a global real estate empire. Our journey begins in his homeland, Brazil. His most legendary holding is the Portobello Mansion in Mangaratiba, near Rio de Janeiro, a sprawling estate acquired for roughly $8.5 million. This architectural marvel sprawls across nearly 3 acres of pristine land, encompassing over 15,000 square feet of living space. Its design is a testament to modernism, all clean lines, towering walls of glass, and free-flowing, open-concept spaces. Within its walls, a floating staircase defies gravity, connecting the levels. A grand dining room stands ready to host 12, and a gourmet kitchen gleams with professional-grade stainless steel appliances. The Master Suite is a technological marvel where televisions descend from the ceiling at his command, leading to a private terrace and a palatial bathroom with a walk-in shower and a deep soaking tub. Venture outside, and the estate's grandeur only intensifies. There lies a synthetic tennis court for champions, a private dock for his maritime toys, and a swimming pool with an astonishing 82-foot lap length. The gymnasium is an arsenal of peak performance, armed with top-tier techno gym machines, a full spectrum of free weights, and walls of mirrors reflecting endless potential. Adjoining the gym is a spa that melts into the surrounding nature, complete with massage tables, a detoxifying sauna, and a bone-chilling ice plunge pool. A gourmet barbecue area awaits for epic feasts, a jacuzzi is perfectly positioned to drink in the ocean view, and a helipad stands ready for his dramatic arrivals and departures. Deep underground, a wine cellar stands guard over a collection of more than 3,000 bottles, each one resting in a perfectly controlled climate of ideal temperature and humidity. The most astonishing part of this story? Neymar secured this palace after simply viewing a YouTube tour. He never set foot on the property before buying it. He simply wired the funds and claimed his kingdom. That is the definition of power. But the Portobello Mansion is but one jewel in his Brazilian crown. He also holds a magnificent mansion in Sao Paulo's exclusive Alphaville neighborhood. This residence, valued at around $3 million, is set on a 2.5-acre parcel of land. It boasts a sleek, modern design with a sprawling outdoor pool, another formidable wine cellar, and a dedicated billiard room for games of strategy. The Master Suite offers breathtaking vistas and a walk-in wardrobe worthy of a fashion icon. The entire estate is a fortress, gated and protected by 24-hour surveillance. In Itaipava, he possesses yet another mansion, this one acquired from the Brazilian actress Claudia Raia for $2.5 million. The property is a 37,000 square foot oasis, enveloped by lush greenery. Monumental glass doors at the entrance open into a vast, open-plan living room, engineered for legendary entertaining. The grounds feature a shimmering swimming pool, decadent sun loungers, and a dining terrace perfect for relaxed, open-air meals. The entire estate is a masterclass in harmonizing the indoors with the outdoors, creating a sanctuary of absolute privacy, nature, and unparalleled comfort. And then there is his portfolio of ultra-luxury apartments. In the state of Santa Catarina alone, Neymar commands at least 4 prestigious high-end units. One such residence is in Itajaí, within the exclusive Villa Doris building. These units offer about 4,700 square feet of space each, and he invested about $1 million to claim his. In that same coveted region, he acquired 2 additional units in the Veredas Hugo residence, both positioned to capture sublime, unobstructed oceanfront views. These buildings provide the lifestyle of a 5-star resort, complete with private beach access and a 24-hour concierge ready to fulfill any whim. Combined, those 2 oceanfront properties represent an investment of about $1.2 million. But his most breathtaking property in Santa Catarina is his quadruplex penthouse at the Yacht House Residence Club in Balneario Camboriú. This structure isn't just a building. It's a monument to ambition, the tallest residential tower in all of Latin America, soaring 81 floors and over 918 feet into the sky. It's composed of two identical towers, linked by celestial sky bridges. This vertical city offers over 100,000 square feet of pure leisure space, with multiple pools, elite gyms, private cinemas, game rooms, and world-class spas. Neymar's quadruplex delivers panoramic vistas of the Atlantic Ocean from every conceivable angle. The floor-to-ceiling windows create the sublime illusion that you are floating above the world. He invested approximately $6 million for his personal unit, and then, in a casual display of power, acquired another unit in the very same building for his father at a cost of $3 million. Because when you have ascended to Neymar's level, you don't just purchase a penthouse, you conquer the entire floor. Now, let us depart Brazil and set our sights on the islands. Neymar has recently acquired Japão Private Island, a 6-acre tropical kingdom floating off the coast of Angra dos Reis. He dropped a cool $7 million on his own private kingdom, a fortress of solitude accessible only to those who arrive by sea or sky, a mere 35-minute flight from the heart of Rio de Janeiro International Airport. The Grand Villa, a masterpiece of Indonesian design, boasts 2 imperial master suites and a tranquil koi pond. 3 more secluded bungalows are nestled across the landscape, all overlooking the island's exclusive beach, where crystalline blue waters kiss the pristine sand. This paradise is designed to host an intimate gathering of up to 10 chosen guests. Before claiming it as his own, Neymar, alongside Dubai real estate titan Sheikh Mohammed bin Gadi, took the island for a trial run, shelling out over $40,000 just to ensure it lived up to their god-tier standards. The verdict was undeniable. Today, it stands as Neymar's ultimate sanctuary, a world away from the flash of paparazzi and the roar of the crowds. Here, there is only the whisper of palm trees, the rhythm of the ocean, and the profound luxury of absolute silence. But a Brazilian paradise is merely one jewel in his crown. Neymar's conquest for global real estate dominance extends to Dubai, where he just claimed a $43 million penthouse in the astonishing Bugatti residences by Benghadi, the world's very first residential marvel to bear the legendary Bugatti crest. The tower itself is an architectural tribute to a Bugatti supercar, all sharp aerodynamic lines and a vision of the future carved into the skyline. Neymar's residence is a pinnacle of the Sky Mansion collection, featuring a personal swimming pool that hangs in the air, offering breathtaking panoramas of downtown Dubai. Walls of glass stretch from floor to ceiling, drenching the opulent space in an ocean of sunlight. And for the ultimate flex, a private car elevator whisks your prized vehicle directly from the street into your living space. Imagine parking your Lamborghini not in a garage, but as a centerpiece in your own palatial living room. Beyond that, the residence offers its own private beach inspired by the French Riviera, a world-class spa, an elite fitness club, and an exclusive chef's table. The experience is flawlessly curated with valet and chauffeur services on call and access to a members-only club where the global elite converge. As developer Bing Hadi declares, the entire setting is a breathtaking homage to the glamour of the French Riviera. The final touches are slated for completion in 3.5 years. When the dust settles, Neymar will possess one of the most coveted penthouses on the entire planet. And across the Atlantic, in Miami, Neymar has acquired a $20 million slice of beachfront heaven in the ultra-exclusive Bal Harbor. The plot of land arrived with pre-approved blueprints for a sprawling 13,000 square foot mansion, envisioned by the world-renowned London firm Elysian. This monumental purchase instantly ignited a firestorm of speculation about a legendary reunion with Lionel Messi and Luis Suarez, both of whom now dominate the field for Inter Miami. Whether Neymar is plotting a return to the pitch alongside them, or simply building a vacation kingdom next door is still a mystery. But what is crystal clear is that he is crafting something of epic proportions, another magnificent jewel to be set in his global empire. Because for Neymar, real estate isn't about finding a place to live. It's about engineering absolute freedom. It's the power to wake up in the warmth of Brazil, jet to Dubai for a power lunch, and fall asleep to the ocean breeze in Miami. He never checks into a hotel because he doesn't have to. Every single property is an extension of his will. Every city is his personal dominion. That is the definition of power, but that kind of freedom comes with a staggering price tag, and Neymar has more than enough to cover it. So, what is the true scale of his fortune? Financial analysts placed Neymar's staggering net worth somewhere in the stratosphere between $250 million and $350 million. This colossal wealth flows from a multitude of powerful streams. His contract with Al Hilal was a seismic event, with a signing bonus of around $90 million that made him the most prized asset in the history of the Saudi Pro League. His annual salary was reported to be a mind-bending $150 million, a figure that dwarfed what he earned at Paris Saint-Germain by a factor of 6. However, in late 2024, his lucrative journey with Al Hilal was cut short. The contract terminated prematurely after an injury kept him from the field. In a move that shocked the world, he then orchestrated a dramatic homecoming to Santos, the very club where his legend was born. While the Santos contract is a fraction of his previous earnings, it was a move of the heart, bringing him back to his homeland and the soul of his game. But even with a smaller paycheck from the pitch, Neymar's off-field empire ensures he remains enthroned at the apex of wealth. His sponsorship deals alone pour over $30 million into his coffers each year. He inked a monumental 11-year partnership with Nike back in 2011, a deal that dissolved in 2020 after a Nike employee brought forth a sexual assault allegation against him. In the wake of this, Neymar forged a new alliance with Puma. His Puma deal is hailed as the most valuable individual football boot contract in history, valued at an astronomical 25 million euros annually. That's more than the deals of Cristiano Ronaldo and Lionel Messi combined. He is a global icon, backed by titans like Red Bull, Replay Jeans, Gaga Milano watches, Gillette, McDonald's, Beats by Dre, Panasonic, and scores of others. In total, Neymar commands over 35 active, high-powered brand partnerships. In 2019, Forbes crowned him the world's third highest-paid athlete, trailing only the gods of the sport, Messi and Ronaldo. By 2024, he was still in the top echelon, ranked 7th with earnings of $108 million. And in 2023, Sports Pro magazine declared him the single most marketable athlete on the planet, eclipsing even Messi and Ronaldo. That is true power. That is global influence. That is the kind of gravitational pull that transforms a football player into an immortal brand. But it is here that Neymar's story catapults from unbelievable to utterly surreal. In May of 2025, a 31-year-old anonymous billionaire from Porto Alegre, Brazil, departed this world, leaving behind a will that would shake the foundations of sports and finance. He bequeathed his entire fortune of over $1 billion to Neymar. The tycoon had no family he wished to enrich. His final wish was to keep his fortune from the government's grasp, and so he chose Neymar as his sole heir. The world asked, why? The billionaire explained that Neymar's bond with his own father deeply moved him, mirroring the relationship he had with his late father. He also saw in Neymar a spirit devoid of greed. The will was legally formalized on June 12, 2025. If this unbelievable testament holds true, the inheritance instantly catapulted Neymar into the pantheon of the wealthiest athletes in all of human history. The tale is so fantastic, so mind-bending, that many still whisper it cannot be real. But whether the billion-dollar inheritance is fact or fiction, the truth remains. Neymar has constructed a financial dynasty that few athletes could ever dream of achieving, and a significant piece of that dynasty is often strapped directly to his wrist. Neymar's watch collection isn't just a hobby. It's a legendary treasure trove. We're talking about a collection exceeding $10 million in pure horological art. Let's dive into the vault. He possesses a Rolex Daytona with a classic black dial, valued at around $60,000. A Rolex Pearlmaster, its cognac dial shimmering, commands $63,000. A Rolex Day-Date, ablaze with orange-red diamonds, is worth $88,000. A Rolex Day-Date Rainbow, completely encrusted in a spectrum of sapphires, shines at $115,000. A Rolex Daytona in pristine platinum with its iconic ice blue dial, valued at $118,000. A Patek Philippe Nautilus travel time for $130,000. A Rolex Yachtmaster in white gold and drowning in diamonds for another $130,000. A Rolex Lady Datejust in brilliant yellow gold for $146,000. A Rolex GMT Master 2 in solid white gold for $150,000. An Audemars Piguet Royal Oak Black Panther for $167,000. A Gaga Milano Chrono Tourbillon dripping with diamonds for $170,000, a Rolex GMT Master 2 in radiant rose gold for $185,000. And from here, the prices ascend into madness. A Rolex Daytona known as the Eye of the Tiger for $300,000. A Richard Mille for Michelle Yeoh at an incredible $960,000. A Richard Mille RM 52-1 tourbillon skull for a staggering $1.1 million. And the undisputed king of his collection. Behold the Richard Mille RM 68-1 tourbillon, a divine artifact signed by Congo, so exclusive it commands a price of $1.5 million. That's not a watch. It's a monument to wealth that eclipses the value of entire neighborhoods. It is said he can drop over 100,000 pounds on timepieces in a single, casual afternoon of indulgence. To a man like Neymar, a watch is not a mere accessory. It is a tangible asset. It is sculpture. It is the irrefutable declaration that every single second of his existence is worth a king's ransom. Yet, Neymar's existence transcends the mere accumulation of treasure. It is defined by the very essence of how he commands his time. And when the warrior is not sharpening his blade on the training ground, he is presiding over legendary celebrations. Neymar is notorious for hosting parties that ascend into myth. The most infamous of these was a 5-day bacchanal at a private mansion, a pilgrimage for 500 of his chosen guests. He commandeered an entire estate, summoned world-renowned DJs to his court, and had an entire subterranean nightclub carved out of the earth just for the festivities. The cost? A sum whispered to be in the millions. His inner circle, the loyal entourage, are granted a royal stipend of roughly $11,000 each month simply for their allegiance and availability. They are whisked across the globe with him, dwelling in his palaces, and joining him aboard yachts slicing through the waters of Ibiza and the exclusive beach clubs of Saint-Tropez. He has been captured reveling with titans like NBA champion Draymond Green, his digital kingdom filled with visions of him lost in dance, consumed by laughter, living a life utterly unshackled by convention. For a man like Neymar, pleasure is not a respite from the grind. It is the grind's ultimate reward. He wages war on the field so he can conquer the night, and he has earned the absolute right to savor every spoil of his victory. But do not be fooled. Beneath the silken exterior of revelry and riches beats the heart of a Spartan. Neymar's training regimen is a brutal art form. Mondays are a crucible of cardiovascular fire. Wednesdays are dedicated to forging a core of unyielding stability. Fridays are a symphony of full-body power. He operates with a legion of personal trainers, physical therapists, and nutritionists, all dedicated to maintaining his body as a pinnacle of human performance. His every meal is a calculated strike, engineered down to the last macronutrient. Breakfast is a foundation of eggs or grains. Lunch, a trinity of chicken, rice, and beans, the sacred staples of his homeland. Dinner might be a decadent lasagna, a perfectly executed risotto, or the clean precision of Japanese cuisine. All of it is orchestrated by his personal chef, Marcelo Latorre, who wages a delicious war between strict dietary doctrine and exquisite flavor. Neymar harbors a craving for earthly delights. Hamburgers, chocolate, and cake are his forbidden pleasures, but they are indulgences granted only on the rarest of occasions. The rest of the time, he is fueling his body like a priceless war machine. At 32 years young, Neymar remains an undisputed titan of the beautiful game, a maestro whose genius has seized championships for global powerhouses like Barcelona and PSG, and hoisted trophies for the legendary Brazilian squad. He has conquered the world's grandest stage, claiming Olympic glory for his nation, and in a move that shook the foundations of sport, Paris Saint-Germain unleashed a king's ransom of 220 million euros in 2017 to acquire him. That monumental record remains untouched. Now, having returned to Santos, Neymar is orchestrating the final act of his epic, right where the legend was born. He is steeling himself for the 2026 World Cup with Brazil. He is conquering the demons of injury, and he is proving that age is but a footnote in his story, for his passion for the game has not waned. If anything, it burns with the fire of 1,000 suns. Neymar once decreed, "I am eternally happy when I play." When you possess happiness, things fall into place, as if by magic. That single philosophy is the engine that drives his entire universe. He juggles a ball through palace hallways. He dances with it long after the final whistle is blown. In his moments of leisure, he plays footette, a hybrid of soccer and ping pong that speaks to his very essence. For Neymar, football is not a profession. It is pure, unadulterated ecstasy. And that ecstasy is his eternal fuel. But Neymar's vast fortune is not a treasure he hoards for himself. He unleashes it as a force for good. In 2014, he willed into existence the Neymar JR Institute in Praia Grande, Brazil. This institute is a fortress of hope, a civil association forged to shield and empower young souls from the clutches of vulnerability. It bestows upon them the gifts of education, the discipline of sports, and access to horizons many of them would never have known existed. The charity auctions held in the Institute's name have summoned fortunes from the ether. The first raised $500,000, the second conjured $790,000. The third manifested $2 million. The fourth summoned a breathtaking $4.2 million. When the CO-19 pandemic cast its shadow, Neymar unleashed a $1 million war chest to combat the virus in Brazil. When catastrophic floods ravaged the state of Rio Grande do Sul, he channeled over $4 million to help resurrect it from the waters. He even deployed his private air force, transforming his fleet of jets into chariots of salvation, delivering essential supplies to the victims. Neymar doesn't broadcast his acts of charity. He simply executes them. Because for him, giving back is not about applause. It is about an unspoken, sacred duty. And therein lies the chasm between being merely rich and living a life of profound purpose. Neymar commands both realms. He has constructed a personal empire of mansions, yachts, jets, and a collection of cars and watches valued in the hundreds of millions. But he has also forged a legacy that will echo through eternity. The Neymar JR Institute is a monument that will stand long after his playing days are over. The children whose lives he has transformed will carry his impact in their hearts long after he hangs up his boots. And the properties, the planes, the cars, they are merely the glittering evidence of what happens when divine talent collides with unbreakable discipline. Because Neymar was not born into this life. He created it. He began as a boy from Mogi das Cruzes, learning the sacred dance of futsal on the unforgiving streets. His father, a former footballer himself, became his grand vizier, his strategist, managing every contract, every negotiation, every fateful move. Together, they engineered a dynasty. By the age of 15, Neymar was already commanding 10,000 reais a month. By 16, that number had swelled to 125,000 a month. At 17, he inked his first professional contract and his first world-altering sponsorship deals. From that launching point, his trajectory was celestial. Barcelona, PSG, Al Hilal, and the triumphant return to Santos. Every step forward brought a deluge of more money, more fame, and more soul-crushing pressure. But through it all, Neymar never lost his connection to the pure joy of the game. He never, ever lost that incandescent smile. And that is the divine spark that sets him apart from all the mere mortals. Most athletes are consumed by the fire. Neymar simply burns brighter. He conquers virtual worlds at night, FIFA, Call of Duty, video poker. He resides with his father, who remains the steward of his financial empire and daily existence. His mother and his son have their sanctuary in São Paulo. His sister divides her time between their various palaces. Family is the bedrock of his kingdom, and no mountain of gold could ever change that sacred law. So when you gaze upon the sheer spectacle of Neymar's lifestyle, the $50 million armada of automobiles, the $200 million private air force, the palatial mansions scattered across 4 nations, the billion-dollar inheritance he is building, it is easy to be blinded by the glorious excess. But the true legend is not found in the things he possesses. It is found in the philosophy that allowed him to conquer them. Neymar approaches life itself as a beautiful game. He plays with a ferocious desire to win, but he never forgets the sacred duty to have fun. He trains with the asceticism of a monk, but he celebrates like a god of wine. He lavishes millions upon himself, yet he bestows millions upon others. He is a paradox of discipline and abandon, of laser focus and blissful freedom, of profound seriousness and divine playfulness. It is this perfect alchemy of relentless drive and unbridled bliss that fuels the trillionaire existence. Because a fleet of supercars, a private air force, and a portfolio of palaces are nothing but gilded cages without a soul soaring with euphoria. And when you watch Neymar, you witness a master radiating a defiant, intoxicating joy on the field. That isn't luck, that is architecture, that is dominion, that is the art of living beyond limits,